even call it a business. I used to make bread, all kind of bread to sell on Florianopolis, Santa Catarina. I used to live there. And once I started to make bread just for fun and eat at home, so I used to give them from my friends and they like, so I started to sell. It grows. It was very nice, but about the regulations, I couldn't go further because there is so many regulations because it's food and something like that. So I had to grow and buy many tools and something like that, and then rent a special location for that. So I had to stop that. And as a software developer, last year I just had to open another uh, PJ to give my services. And I didn't like so much because all the jobs that I get was just CLT with PJ problems. So last month I just finished this PJ and restart again with the CLT.
Nice. Good point. I agree with the PJ part in the tech field. This
Yeah,
happens.
it's very complicated because we have too many. It's very expensive. It's not when you are not a May. If you are a May, it's very easy to maintain and have all the requirements and the contabilidade and something like that. And if you open a PP, I think it's PP or something like that. It's the small business. You have to have a counter. You have to make many things about contability or something like that. I don't know the word, but it's very complicated. And work as a CLT because we have the hours to make. We have we go presential and all this. So I don't like how it was working for me.
Yes, it's very complicated, this accountant part of PJ and companies in general. I think is the most boring part for me to have all of these documents and know about the law. For me,
Yeah,
it's the no
and it's
part,
very
you know.
expensive. It's very
Yes.
expensive.
Did you use online contable company?
Yeah, I used to have Contabilize, and
Oh,
they care all about all these files, and I just send them, and they take care. But it's very expensive. So uh, I used to have a great contract with only one other business, and but when it's finished, all the other offers was very low and was not compensation, was not worth it for go further with this PJ.
All right. Victor brought us two examples. He did like a baking industry, baking small
Yeah.
business, and a PJ thing in tech. So who else has examples? Gabriele, what about you?
I never started my own business. I already work as a PJ, um, but I never like I work as a PJ, but it's like a CLT with a boss with a time. So, but I have a I have an idea one day make my own business, but I don't know how I will start with that. So I think it's it.
Nice. Thank you, Gabriele. You were talking about having a PJ and working as a CLT. And I just remember a word that I would like to share. I think people and companies in general found a loophole in the law, to use PJ as CLT to pay less taxes. Loophole, brecha, right, guys? Just so we can have a larger vocabulary. A loophole is a brecha or a gap. All right, Jonas, what about you?
I never have my own business, but it's a gray area. I worked for 20 years in the same company as a civil engineer, and I was a partner in the company. So I was not I don't have a third-party legal person being contracted. I was part of the company as associate. And after that, when I start to work as a software developer, I did open my own legal person, but I did not find it really difficult to pay. I do a little bit of math to always be in the attachment 3, anexo 3. You pay less tax if you go on the attachment 3 against the attachment 5 on the Brazilian law. So depend of the what you do on the nota fiscal. The code you use, it determines how much you pay. So I try to always be on the attachment 3.
Jonas is an experienced guy. If everybody needs any consultation, please go to Jonas, all right? Because he knows the law.
No, I don't. My the contable company that I work with, Contábil Livre, they did a briefing with me talking about that. So if I was working with a code that is going to be on X5, attachment 5. So to go to attachment 3, I need to have 20% of pro labore.
Right.
Every month. So if I stay in that window, I pay less taxes.
Nice. It's nice to know that. All right. Thank you, Jonas. Deborah, what about you?
Well, I never start a business like a PJ, but I always did extra works in my career because I love crafts. So I always made them to sell. My parents have a store, and so I use the store to sell there. Oh, at college, during my internship, like this.
Sorry, what did you sell? I didn't get that.
Painting, sculptures.
Sculptures.
Sculptures. Yeah. I don't know in English, esculturas.
You did for yourself? Like you did by yourself?
Yes.
That's nice. What else did you do?
I don't know,
You can say in
characters,
Portuguese.
creatures, monsters, or figures. It's like this. I don't know English.
That's okay.
It's biscuit in Portuguese.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
That's
I don't know
okay.
English.
Me neither. We all understand.
Yeah.
That's
It's
nice.
Like this.
That's great, guys. All right. Thank you, Deborah. For me, I sell pão de mel in college just because I wanted to earn more money and because I I don't know, I just wanted to sell something, to do something else instead of just studying. And let's go to question number 2. Jonas, can you please read and answer?
Yes. What are the key qualities and skills you believe are essential for successful entrepreneurship? Some of, so I think I don't would say it's a quality, but it's essential. You sacrifice a lot for your business. That's why I don't go to that path. I like to have a contract. I have my freedom, and I did when I was a civil engineer, I had a lot of dor de cabeça when I was just a partner, and still I don't have all the responsibility of the business, and it was not good. I prefer to not have all this work, all this worry, and so this is one thing I think when you are going to make your own business, you have to sacrifice a lot because of the business.
You have like another child, you know, have a child to create there. I feel that too. Gabi, what about you?
I never had my own business, but my parents had. So they do a lot of things that making works the business. So I think the first thing is be organized to have their own business, because there are a lot of things to do, and if you don't organize your money to spend, the time you spend, the things start to go in a mess. So the first thing is that, and the second is be responsible, like Jonas said. If you want to have your own business, you need to be responsible for yourself and the people what work with you. So I think the two qualities is essential.
Nice ones. Vitor, what do you think?
I agree with them. This was the two things I was thinking too. Being responsible for the others that works with you, and organization is a very important thing. Even more when we were talking about money, because we tend to mess our money to not mess, is to put it together, money from the company and our money, and it makes a very mess, and we can spend money that shouldn't be spent. And so I think this organization about money is very important to keep going and don't bankrupt. So I think I agree with them.
That's a good point. I think when people start a company and see, like, I don't know, for example, 100,000 reais entering the company, they feel like they are receiving 100,000 reais, and they're like, oh, this is my money. I can spend 100,000 reais. And that cannot happen. You cannot just take your company's money and think they are your money. Good point, Vitor. Deborah, what about you?
Well, I totally agree with yours. I guess organization. I guess to persistence. I don't know in English, but I think this presence and communication too, because I think it's very important about your challenges, or challenge of the day. I think this communication, I think, is very important too.
Nice, guys. I think I would add just being a light-headed, like you being a person that can solve problems, because when you have your own business, you only have problems. And if you're the owner, you have to solve them. And if you take your work to your home, you're gonna be working all day long and you're never gonna stop. So I think you have to be emotionally aware that you need to separate home and work, I think that's important too. All right, let's go to question number 3. Gabby, can you please read and answer?
Sure. How do you feel about the risks and uncertainties associated with starting or running a business? I think always had uncertainties when you start a business. It's hard and risks too, but I think people want fast results most of times, and some things wait more time to grow up. So I think people sometimes need to start slow with small things and growing with your company, and spend more money if you're want money. So I think do some things more slowly is the best for your growing of business.
Nice, good point. All right, Gabby, please choose someone to answer after you.
Deborah.
Well, I like a situation about my parents, because my parents have a store. I believe sometimes do you feel overloaded? Because have a lot of challenges in dealing about the peoples, the taxes, about the anything. I think it is not only about the start your business. It's how I don't know in English, ao longo do negócio. I think this sometimes, like Sarah said, the persons need very mental health very well, because having one business is very difficult.
Nice. So you think this uncertainties goes along during the whole
Thank you.
during the whole existence of the business, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it's actually true. Jonas, what about you?
I feel that open a business is a risky and uncertain business. There's a lot of uncertainties, and it is the one word. You don't know what is going to happen. You don't know if pandemic is going to being there. There is going to be a pandemic in the world or something like that. Risks. The problem with risks is normally people don't evaluate the business well, so you have more risks than you should. There's a lot of people that think that they can just open your business without think about a long time you're gonna be without any income. So there's a lot of problems with that. It's difficult to point just one risk. The economic risk is one, uncertainty is a lot. You need to balance what it's already there in the market. You need to think if you are competing with big companies today.
Yes. At the same time, people sometimes don't have an alternative and they just have to open their business and just start. And they are discovering along the process, you know?
Yes.
I see a lot of people doing that because they don't have an alternative. Like, I'm talking about small business, like selling hot dogs, something like that. I think this kind of business give you more profit in a short period of time comparing to other kind of business. Yeah, sometimes you don't have an alternative. All right.
That's the mind of entrepreneur, is trying. I don't
Yes.
have that mind, so
Me too. I have a lot of fear with this. I like to think everything before I do something, and I think I would implode if I think a lot and try to open a business. I would never do that, I think.
yes,
Vitor.
the mind
sorry.
of a developer that's thinking about everything that could go wrong.
Yes, exactly. Vitor, what about you?
Yeah, I think the risks is very overwhelming. When you start to think about how things can go wrong, and as you were saying about the necessity, when I was in college, there is a class that talks about the entrepreneurship for necessity and for opportunity. It's when you have opportunity to make something that there is a few or none making until that time, or the necessity you just have to do something to live. And when you are doing something to live, you have the other problems that you, as Jonas said, you have to have an income. You are trying to have an income, and you have to the opportunity. You have to think more long way, or more, how can I say,
Long
look
term?
further. Long term, you think you must look in the long term. So I think it's very, very overwhelming, and you have to have a mental health in point, so you can hold all the things that can go wrong.
Nice, guys. Thank you for your inputs. All right, let's go to question number 4. Yes.
Yeah, number 4.
Thank you. Deborah, can you please read and answer?
Okay. Should there be specific regulation or incentive to support and encourage entrepreneurship? Well, I believe so. Yeah. They need to give the company more opportunity to survive. But about the taxes, rates, about this, because I think it's heavy. A lot overcome about the business. Well, but I don't know very well about the regulation specific or effective is about the business or like a PJ. I don't know very well. But like Vitor said, have a lot of texts about this. Yeah. and I believe this is very difficult. You survive in this situation. Yeah, sometimes it's so I don't know English, but it's so hard about the I don't know, survive the business. Yeah.
Yes, you have a lot of how can I say that? You have a lot of expenses. So not only taxes, but you have to pay your employees, you have to pay health insurance, a lot of things like that. It's very expensive. My boyfriend did a job these days. He has like a small company of consulting in the field of engenharia florestal. I don't know how to translate that, but the whole service were like 30,000 reais for like 3 months of duration, and he had to pay 6,000 reais of taxes. So 20%. I was like, what? 6,000 is a lot, guys, just for taxes. When you are a grown-up, you suffer with taxes. All right, Jonas, what do you say about incentivizing? No, I don't know if that's the word. Specific regulations to incentivize small business.
Yeah, noted.
Yes. I think we already have some good regulations. May is a great opportunity for some of the workers. Much of the intellectual work, or more like an engineer, or you have some case of intellectual work you cannot use May. So this is a problem, but I understand. And so if you can open a May for your business, you have a great advantage. For intellectual work, we have some cases you can open a Simples Nacional. I don't think the English has a translator for that, but this helps a lot. 20% when you are not in this Simples, it's really the normal tax. I can say how much I pay. It's 11% on the 28% for the Prolabore. So this is for the INSS, and 6% on the invoice. So I don't think it's too much. It's a lot, but we have some. If you think how much a business really pay, it's 20 to 30%. It's already something to help.
Yes, good point. Jonas, you are the man for law consulting. You are very good. When I grow up, I want to be like you.
I need to know where my money is going.
Wise man. Nice. All right. Vitor, what about you?
I agree with Jonas. The biggest problem is not, I think, when we as a software developer working as a PJ, the greatest problem is not the taxes that we pay, but the incomes that the companies are trying to pay us. They are getting very low and trying to give us a lot of work to do, a lot of responsibilities, and don't want to pay us for our knowledge. So it's kind of boring when you see and on LinkedIn many job positions with the salary as almost equal than PJ and CLT, like junior living with 3,500, 3,500. So as a PJ. So it's very boring and overwhelming when you think that you have to pay so many taxes and they are not, how can I say, they are not see how much you really worth it. So for me, there is regulations that help us. There is companies that make jobs like Acati in Florianopolis, that they help small business to grow and grow sustainably. So I think they are trying to do something good for those that are trying to grow a business.
Nice. I did the math once about this thing that you said, in, comparing CLT and PJ, the developer salary, and I should receive like the double of CLT in PJ, so I can pay all of the taxes, almost the double. And it never happens. We don't see job offers like that.
Yeah, it works when you receive like 7,000 or 8,000. If you receive more, it have to be a little more because of you have to have an accountant, so you have more expenses, and it doesn't work quite as the double. But there is a few positions for less than 7,000 and 6,000.
Nice. Thank you for the information, guys. You are rocking the accountant field today. Gabi, what about you?
I agree with Vitor. Sometimes when you work as a PJ, you receive less than a CLT person. So it's hard. In my company, I need to pay May and receiving in PJ. So it's hard because I don't receive too much. I receive less than a CLT person. I need to pay 65 reais for a month, so it was hard. And I think the government needs incentives people that had small business, because there are few people that work in small business, and sometimes they need to not how can I say, regulamentar. They cannot regulate, or I don't know. They need to do some things over the law, because it's hard. Because if they do everything right, they will pay a lot of tax. So there's no worth in a small business. So it's my opinion.
Nice, Gabi. Thank you. Regulamentar is regulate, according to Google Translate.
Can
All
I
right,
add
guys.
something?
Yes, please.
I was saying about the 6 or 7,000. It's because if you go over 7,000, you are not MEI anymore. So you have to open a small business.
But
Then the more
legally,
taxes.
you cannot have a software engineer job as a MEI.
Yeah, legally, but they are trying to. So we must try to do something to help us, because they are not trying to help us. The company itself are not trying to help. They are always trying to make us get less than other are paying. So it's very difficult. There are a few engineers that I see working as a MA, but it's legally wrong.
Okay, let's go to question number 5. Do you think entrepreneurship offers more flexibility and work-life balance compared to traditional employment? Deborah. It's question number 5 if you are lost. We'll wait.
Thank you. I'm lost. So about the tools, yes.
What
It's a 5 question.
is the 5th question is
Okay.
about
Tools.
sorry. Quirino, everything's okay? All right. Everything's okay, I guess. Yes, question number 5, please go, Deborah.
Well, it's about the tools internship. I would say invest in books, in course, or webinars about your internship. Yes, business management and the specific skills you needed to develop. About specific tools, like project management platforms, tools like Trello, Asana, or Monday, allow to organize tasks, track his project, because I think it is very difficult to your organization a lot of situations in business. I think this.
Nice. Guys, I made a mistake. I changed some questions and Deborah got the old question. So that's okay. You were answering the old question. The old question is like, what kind of tools do you think a person should have to start a business?
So, sorry, guys.
That's okay.
Because I take questions in the website, the TALKNTALK.
Yes, I just changed a few ones because I noticed that some of them was like boring. Okay. So I changed them. I'm sorry I didn't tell you guys this. Okay. But do you mind answering the question number 5 that I've changed, or you prefer not to?
I don't prefer. Yes. Okay. I think this is more flexibility, but I think it's more troubles, more job you so resolve. I think this is more flexible, but it's more work. Yeah.
Yes, require more problem solving, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Gabi, what about you?
It's hard because in the same time there we are more flexibility. It's hard to balance the work life because a traditional employment have a certain time to start working and finish your working in a day, but most of times, of course. But an entrepreneur need to work hard, and sometimes it's hard because if you is your own business, you need to deal like, oh my god, I need to solve some problem, like I said, Sarah, and it's 10 p.m. Oh, I need to solve the problem. I don't have time for my personal life. My uncles had a business, and they work a lot because it's a restaurant, so they don't have much time with social life. So that is 2 points. I think depends of your business and depends of the person.
Yes, depends of the business, definitely. Jonas, what do you think?
For me, every time someone say that you will work with flexible time, normally they sell that as you are going to have your own time when you want. But the reality is the opposite. You have to work every time, basically. You have your own time, but you don't know when it's going to come. And this is way harder to someone that has your own business. When you are an employer, you have a schedule, you can just, well, it's 6 p.m., I am out, and I don't care until tomorrow.
Sometimes não have vacation.
Good point. Vitor, what do you think?
As you and John said, I think it's running a business like having a child. You have to care 24/7, and as Jonas said, it's not flexibility. They call you if you work for someone. They call you at 10 p.m. or 8 p.m. to solve some problem. So I think it depends on the maturity of the business. Like when you are starting, you have to go full time for that to make it work and make a profit from it. And I think when the time goes, you can have more flexibility and work it less as the time goes.
Yes, as you also train people to do your work, and the company works like it should, you know? They don't need you for all of the process to be there looking and seeing if everything is going okay.
Yeah.
All right. Rebecca, are you there?
Yes, hi.
Everything's okay? People started leaving. What happened? Did you finish all of the questions? Did the guy has to
We
leave?
finished it. It's because appears a message to leave the room, so I accept. We accept.
All right. I think Maíra is also coming. Okay. Quirino and Juliana had to leave. Did they say something?
Yes, when we are finished, they leave, but it was already near to the end.
Okay, great. So that's nice that you got to answer all of the questions. What do you think about owning your own business, Rebecca? Do you own your own business? Would you like to have one someday?
No, I wouldn't like to have one day. I prefer work to a company. That's more my profile.
Nice. Here as well. I think all of the guys here, most of the guys here like to work for a company. All right, guys. I sent you on the chat the survey link. You know what to do with that. Give me realistic and sincere opinions. All right. I don't mind about critics. So if you see something that I need to improve, just let me know. Okay. Have a nice week. We will talk next week about getting a job. So if you like to talk about that theme, come along. It was a pleasure to have you guys here today, and bye-bye. Thank you so much.